Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. You have to hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment and click the bell icon for all notifications. You have to do all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. I actually had an event-filled weekend this weekend. It was quite a nice weekend. Went out to a new place for dinner. That was nice. Met up with a buddy I haven't seen in a bit. That was nice. And football season has kicked off, and the Eagles won, although it was quite a sloppy game. But what's up, Kyle? Quite a sloppy game, but at least glad the NFL season is back. Is anybody here a NFL fan? Anybody here a football fan? What is your team? I do know that I have a few football fans that tune in from time to time on this channel. I'd be curious who your team is. The Minnesota Vikings are about to get their asses handed to themselves. I feel confident the Eagles are going to come out and look a lot better on Thursday Night Football. So we shall see. It's going to be a late night for me on Thursday. Staying up for that game. This is a nice... I don't usually drink diet soda, but I got a diet soda going on right now. Lemon lime, basically a Sprite. What's up, 786WP? Let's fucking go. Kyle, how do you transition from a Patriots to a Bucks fan? Kyle, you are a Tom Brady fan, huh? You are from Minnesota, really? Do you mind sharing what part of Minnesota you're from? Very interesting. Well, Kyle, you're about to get your ass handed to you, in my opinion, but we shall see. Dragons is not an NFL fan. Well, college football, perhaps. Guys, the market's looking a little poopy, right? It's been looking a little poopy. Now, as you know, if you're subscribed to the channel, none of the price action that's going on right now, one, it shouldn't concern you, and two, it shouldn't surprise you. Okay? You can come up with any story that you want. Okay? FTX, there's some tokens that are going to be released on the market, blah, 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 blah. What have I been saying for the past couple weeks? Look, the news is in the charts, all right? News follows the charts, not the other way around. This live stream is called All in the Charts, by the way. These news narratives are interesting. It's cool to talk about. It's nice to stay informed on what's going on. But this empirical data will tell you most likely what's going to go on. And again, there's no certainties. There are no certainties in life. Let me tell you that. The older you get, you literally find out there are literally no certainties in life besides living and dying. Okay, but what we do is we can use this empirical data in the charts to make informed decisions and tell us what is most and least likely. That's the premise of this live stream. Okay. And so if you've been following my content, if you are subscribed to the channel, let's just take a moment to go back in time here. I published a video on August 21st, and the thumbnail was Bitcoin Worry. Is it time to worry about Bitcoin? Then a week later, on August 31st, I published a critical moment in Bitcoin. And then last week, I published a video called Sinister September Bitcoin. Now, if you watch those videos and you've actually been following along and you've been doing your due diligence of following along with CBG, you would know that I believe it is most probabilistic that we are going to see continued downside before we see continued upside. I have no concerns about the macro picture, but I do see it being more likely that we're going to see some downside volatility. And so it shouldn't surprise anyone that we're getting some downside today. Could we bounce up from here? Maybe some of the bullish divergence plays out. Yeah, sure. We'll take a look at the charts. But ultimately, I've already spoken to my primary zones that I'm looking at getting hit. Wow, Evan's not in the house yet. Usually Evan is commenting by now. I'm seeing my comments flooded by Evan's comments. Evan, where are you at? But those primary buy zones have not been changed or altered one bit by current price action. In fact, the price action that's playing out right now is sort of lending credence that to the notion that there's more than likely going to be more downside. But again, do you view this as some sort of sinister action within price that's concerning and you're getting emotional and you don't know what to do? Or are you level-headed and can you read the charts? And is it an opportunity, right? So it all depends on your perspective. Thumbs up to everyone new tuning in. Glad to see we have a little bit of a good audience here because I going live a little bit earlier than normal. Let's see who we got here. Blaine, I am not familiar with Blaine, Minnesota. I actually, just north of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Kyle, I think I had commented, I don't know if you were here, I just took a business trip into the St. Paul area, so interestingly enough. Hey, bro, everything is dumping and I'm scared shitless. Can you say something to make me feel better? Hey, man. Catch my Bitcoin videos that I just spoke to. I'm not scared on this end. We don't believe in fear in this house. No, there's nothing scary going on. In fact, I'm going to... I might publish the video tomorrow if I have enough time this evening to kind of finish recording it. But there will be another updated video coming out on Bitcoin either tomorrow or Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. But no, we'll go over some charts here, but in all seriousness, Kim, if you've been following my content, there's nothing to be concerned about. There really isn't. They almost did get the Eagles yesterday. It was a pretty sloppy game. Are the halving bros right? We will find out. I could be proven incorrect, but so far I still believe that my thesis will turn out to be correct. We shall see, though. This is what happens, though, real quick. We're going to get into the charts in a moment. I want everyone to think about this, though. When there is some sort of downside that isn't playing to the narrative of, like, let's look at my thesis, okay? So my thesis was that we were going to get a blow-off top either this year or sometime around the halving, right? Going into April, May next year, right? So that expectation implies that we need to see upside, right? So in moments that we're getting that upside, people are like, yeah, this is going to happen. The 4-year cycle people are wrong, right? Then when we get downside action, the emotions come in to say, oh my God, the 4-year cycle maxis, that yellow brick road is going to follow out. And CBG doesn't know what he's talking about. I see people attacking Credible Crypto. Credible Crypto doesn't know what he's talking about. These are emotions, people. These are emotions. Are we at a price level that I thought we would be at by this point? No, I'm always transparent with you guys. No, I thought we would be at or above 35.5K. We're not there. What you have to not lose sight of, or if you haven't been here for prior market cycles or movements within this space moves very fast. That's why I still feel very confident that even though we could see continued downside to the targets that I've mentioned, let's say we hit 22.5, right? Let's say we hit 22.5, 21.5, whatever. Let's say we hit 22.5. We could very easily bounce right out of 22.5 and be above $30,000 within 2 weeks, within a week. Okay, this is how quickly the market moves. So just let's not lose perspective, guys. It's not too long ago we were at 15,000 and we more than doubled in price in a relatively short period of time. Yeah, it was something I didn't hit on it enough, but yeah, September historically is a bearish month. Those are just the laws of probabilities. Tempted to scoop up more cash. I scooped up a bunch more cash in that 37-cent area. I had tweeted about it. And I still have money on the sidelines in case if we do go lower, which is certainly a probability. We can take a look at an updated chart. Just put out a video on it, actually. But I now hold what I would consider a significant amount of CASPA. DJ Neutronic, I am back, my friend. No, DJ Neutronic, you keep saying I'm calling for 19,000. You're incorrect. That's not what I said in my video. That is not what I said in my video. Go back and watch the video and be true to the words that I speak. That's not exactly what I said. I saw an article, the fair value for Bitcoin is 47,000 because of cost to mine it. That would mean after having fair value would be 94, right? No, that is not correct. Oh, I see what you're saying, because of the halving event. No, that would not still be correct. No. There's more that factors into it than that. Just because the mining reward gets cut in half doesn't mean that the fair value doubles. All right, let's get into some charts. So right now, I had tweeted out, right now, this is the 12-hour. Guys, nothing has changed on the 12-hour since we last had a conversation, right? Everything that I spoke to on Thursday, right, is playing out in the chart. And what exactly is occurring? I could pretend if I wanted to, I could come out here and I could overcomplicate things and I could sound really technical. But this is actually really simplistic. And it's not just that I think it's important as a YouTube content creator speaking about technical analysis to communicate things in layman's terms. This is actually really easy to communicate what's going on. We can keep this really stupid simple and have an idea here of what's going on. Look at what is happening here. First basic thing, we're getting lower highs, right? Okay. And we're getting lower lows. I don't need to show you every lower low. Okay. Those are the basic building blocks of a bearish narrative. We are in a general downtrend. What's the next thing? Hold on a moment. Sorry about that. What is the other thing that you see going on in this chart that is pretty straightforward? This is the 12-hour. This is a death cross on the 12-hour. Okay, death cross. 50 below the 200. Now that price action is below our moving averages, what's going to happen? The moving averages will act as resistance. Look what happened when we broke below the 50. We couldn't stay above it. Couldn't get above it. Couldn't get above it. Couldn't get above it. There is a lot of weakness in price right now. This should be no surprise to anyone. We've been covering this for weeks, okay? Again, I'm never going to come out here and share with you some short to intermediate term bullish narrative if there isn't one. Again, do not confuse my words. Nothing has changed from a macro perspective. I am still monumentally bullish macro. It's this short to intermediate time frame that is bearish. Okay? Anyone telling you that the short to intermediate time frame is bullish either can't read a chart or is not being honest, or I'm completely missing something about basic technical analysis. The short-term price action is bearish, okay? And that's all I'm pointing out here. And until, this is another premise that I have indicated on this channel multitude of times, we need price action on the lower time frames to begin to resume bullish. Because once that happens, those lower time frames, like a 12-hour chart, once they start to flip bullish, it bleeds into a 1-day, a 3-day, a weekly. All right? So we need the chart here to turn around. But right now, we're following this bearish narrative, and it's not good. It's not good. The more we continue to see these low, this is exactly what I've spoken to in prior live streams. This is the exact opposite of what we wanted to see. You guys know, if you've been here for a while, this is the exact scenario I didn't want to see play out, right? This is going to cause the 50 to continue turn down, and it's going to take us a longer period of time to resume a bullish trend to the upside. We need to make a swift recovery soon, in relative terms. We need to make a swift recovery soon at some point in the month of September, at latest October, to realistically have not just a blow-off top when I am still theorizing we're going to have a blow-off top, but a blow-off top at a high level above 100,000. We need to see price recovery. Again, we need that ramp, that runway for price to be long enough in terms of months to actually appreciate high in value. Yes, it does take only several months to see the largest gains within Bitcoin. But realistically, if we just continue churning lower and lower and lower this month and we don't see any sort of a significant recovery in the month of September, it's going to put a lot of things in doubt for me. I need to see, we can see the sharp volatility I've spoken to in times past. We can come all the way down here. I could care less. But I want to see some sort of a sharp reaction and a recovery in price. We want to see what did I talk about in my Sinister September video? I want to see that big wick in September. I want to see seller exhaustion in September. That would be the price. If you look at a candlestick, even if it's red and it's a thinner body, if you see a long wick, that means that price went all the way down and recovered because there was seller exhaustion. Buyers stepped in and bought the shit out of price. That's what we want to see. We're only at September 11th, okay? September 11th, not the best of days. September 11th, okay? So right now the price action I'm seeing right now is not surprising, but at some point we need to see a swift recovery. If we go to the daily, again, and I'm going to cover this, okay? I'm going to cover this in the video that I'm releasing on Bitcoin. Make sure you tune into it. We're getting a death cross, and it's not, there's going to be, I've warned you guys, there's going to be clickbait out there that this death cross is going to signal that we're entering some huge long bear market. Guys, we've been out of the bear market since, November of 2022. We bottomed in November. We're not taking out the bottom down here. Yes, there's a probability we could break 15,000. There's also a probability Bitcoin could go to zero, okay? I do not see $15,000 being breached. The only way I would become concerned from a macro perspective is if $15,000 got broken. I do not see that happening. I do not see that happening, okay? Again, I spelled out the price levels. We could go all the way down to 19, 17,000 and it wouldn't still matter. It'd still be a higher low. But this death cross, while you want to avoid the clickbait fear porn that's going to be on YouTube, thumbs up for everyone new tuning, and I appreciate it. I see a lot more viewers than there are likes, which I don't understand. This death cross is not bullish, guys. And if you actually study the history of price, this does give credence to the fact that there is a high probability that there could be still significant downside here. We really could reach a lot of those price levels that I've spelled out earlier, okay? So not good to see. But the other thing someone might turn my attention to is, well, CBG, you do see the bullish divergence, right? Yes, of course. Price action is moving down, okay? Let's see. Price action is moving down. The RSI is moving up. Again, my main view on this is that in the short term, this could result in some sort of a nice bounce, but ultimately I still see those price levels I've spoken to getting hit. So we'll have to see. Do I hope? Hope is not a word that we like to use on this channel. We use logic and education to make informed decisions. This is not as crazy as I sometimes get and as emotional as I get just because it's naturally who you see on camera is who I am as a person. I remain logical and educated about my investments. We don't use hope, but in this instance, I will use the word hope. Do I hope that I'm wrong? Do I hope that the weekly charts I've been sharing with you guys, that the less probabilistic scenario plays out and we just bounce up from here and we never see further downside? Absolutely. I mean, come on, I'm a bull. But those charts are signifying to us that, hey, there's a lot of caution within price, and we more than likely are going to see further downside in the short to intermediate term here. Now, the weekly, you tell me what's bullish about this. The only thing that's bullish about this view right now is that we have higher lows. We still haven't taken out this higher low here at 24,800, 24,750, and this is still technically a higher low. And we have higher highs, okay? Higher highs. That's the only thing bullish about this chart. And the fact that we've stayed above the 50 simple moving average, right? Again, all you're doing, if price comes in here and we start getting weekly closes below 24,300, like if we have a candlestick, okay, just bear with me for a moment here. If we get weekly candlesticks that start to close in this area below this 50 moving average, guys, all that's doing is expressing a tremendous amount of weakness in the price. And it's also signifying that there's a higher probability we could just continue rolling over. That's why what I would prefer to see, whether it's this week, whether it's next week, okay, we get that volatility, right? Maybe we come all the way down to here, right? We come all the way to this region, right? But we wick. We come all the way back up. We never close below the 50, and then we continue resuming our uptrend, right? So we'll have to just be patient and see how the chart plays out. But that is what I'm seeing in price right now. We're also going to take a look at the something we haven't talked about is the hash ribbons. Maybe we can have a conversation about that tomorrow. But we're going to take a look at my watch list. We're going to see some other projects that are moving today. I know there's a lot of fear about Solana. I put out a video on my YouTube channel about Solana for anyone who's holding Solana. Nothing has changed in that analysis. But we can take a look at a few other projects in terms of how they are doing, today. Let's see what comments we have here. Oh my God, my nose. What is up with my nose? I feel like half the time I come on this live stream, I always have a stuffed up nose. I saw an article. Oh, okay, I already read that. Hey, Amir, thank you. Thank you. I hope you're having a good day. What's up, Rashid? I'm fine with short-term bearishness. I'd rather buy cheaper than higher. Good perspective. If you're bullish macro, see, for me, because nothing. Here's the thing: when you've been in this space and I'm not being naive to the price action. I'm coming at you with 7 years of experience. Reading charts, actively trading, actively investing using charts. So 7 years of that. And 5.5 years of being in the crypto space invested, right? So that is my experience that I bring to the table. That is my perspective. And I'm humble enough to understand and recognize that I could be wrong, because I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again, okay? And there are learning opportunities. It's the best thing you can do is learn from that. But I still feel very convicted that my macro view is correct, because nothing has been invalidated. And so as long as that's true, all of this, as bearish as it looks, which it is, this is noise in the grand scheme of things. Like if you were back here, let me give you my perspective. Let me show you what I'm speaking to, okay? If you're back in this area, let's say, I don't know. Let's talk about this area because I was invested back here. If you're back in this area, this isn't looking pretty right here, right? This is not looking pretty. But if you recognize based on several charts that buying all in this area is advantageous, guys, that's buying anywhere between 4,300 and 3,100, okay? Not easy to do because the emotions were very high. I remember this time. I remember Hyperwave. Anybody here for Hyperwave? Remember that BS? God rest his soul, Tyler Jenkins, I think his name was. Actually, a really nice guy. But he was dead wrong on the Hyperwave theory. That was probably a bad expression. He was wrong on the Hyperwave theory. No, that just came out. Foot and mouth. Insert foot and mouth. But the point is, as an investor, look what happened to price. Okay, we just continued moving up, and the rest is history. The point is, it's not easy during these time periods. It's not easy during these time periods to just be accumulating. And again, this channel is not designed for the day trader. I'm not here to tell you tomorrow what's going to happen with price. If you're tuning into the channel to day trade, you're literally tuning into the wrong channel. That's not what we do. We can do TA questions that I can answer, key price levels and what I'm seeing on the RSI, and if we could get a bounce or a drop in price. Yeah, but I'm not here to tell you setting positions in the next 24 hours. That is not what this is about. But if you're patient and you're here for the longer term to be invested, again, more than likely we're going to have further downside from here, but anything in these levels from an investment perspective is an incredible buying opportunity. And it's not the thing you're going to realize until years out from now. It's hard. It's hard to remove your emotions. It's very, very hard. But you need to do that in order to be successful. Let's see a couple more comments, and then we're going to get back to the charts. What's up, Track? Glad to see you. The DXY went down today, and BTC crashed. Some days you just can't win. Again, DJ, and I've hit on this. There is a negative correlation between those two, okay? One goes up, the other goes down. But they're not in tandem day for day. It's not like when the DXY goes up one day, DXY goes up one day, Bitcoin goes down that same day and vice versa. There is a lag in recognition, but the general trend when you watch my upcoming Bitcoin video, just watch my upcoming Bitcoin video. No, I don't. Do I think that the markets will go down if FTX is liquidated? No. I think that what you are seeing is, I think you're seeing a lot of headlines being put out there to instill fear in the market. How much, I don't know if how long you guys have been on this channel. You know, I used to do a couple different live streams. I used to do the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close, and I used to do the happy hour, the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour, which I kind of miss. Well, of course, I've given up alcohol this entire month, so that wouldn't work. Anybody else doing the no alcohol thing? I'm enjoying it. I honestly don't miss it. I went out to dinner on Friday. I went out to a nice dinner. I did miss it a little bit then. I wanted a glass of wine, but is what it is. But anyway, on those happy hours, as well as the Crypto Bros podcast I've done with my brother in the past, you know, I've covered market manipulation. It would not surprise me one bit for headlines to be being put out right now and for the weeks to come to get these prices artificially low for whales, right? We know that the ETF is coming. Again, if you want to not look at the charts and you want to talk about news narratives, we can do that for a moment. Market manipulation runs rampant in every market. It's not a crypto thing. It's a greed thing that exists in every market. And so it wouldn't surprise me, in fact, I'm counting on it, that there is manipulation going on to suppress the price of Bitcoin. Let's bring this thing down. Let's allow these whales to accumulate at lower levels before we really see the markup in price. There's going to be a monumental markup in price. And so why not get in at lower valuations if we can manipulate the price? DJ Netronic, no alcohol for 2.5 months. Props to you, brother. Frankie Legend, good to see you. Do you think Binance will fall? Did you mean fail? No, I don't think Binance is going to fail. But you do raise a good question, Jay Kim, whether you recognize it or not. Let's take a look at Binance coin, BNB. So, apologies for the sniffles here. I don't know what the heck's going on. Okay, red is resistance, green is support. We're looking at BNB on the weekly, and as you can see right now, when we zoom out, let me do something real quick. If we put this on a monthly, let me ask you a quick question. When we zoom out on a weekly, on a monthly, this is a monthly chart. Does this look like a healthy chart to you? Okay? All right, now, I'm going to flip this to a daily. Now you're scared, right? Now you're scared. If we just zoom in here, now you're scared. Scared. But as we continue to zoom out, perspective, right? So again, the whole point of me doing that is to show you that when you're buried into the details of the day-to-day, it looks scary. But when you zoom out, you see that the macro trend looks fine, right? It all depends on your perspective. Many things in life are true. It's true about many things in life. Many things, your perspective matters with so much of how you view the world, how you view others, and how you view a situation. Many of us in life screw up things that we have in our life because we choose to look at things in a very faulty way. But to each their own. So, anywho, what I see on the BNB chart here is... I see downward resistance here, right, that was broken. Now, what we've done since then, we bounced all the way up to $400. We created a lower high. A lower high. So we have the lower highs coming in. And what we want to do on, very simplistically stated, what we want to do on BNB, we want to begin to take out these lower highs. We want to begin to break 250. We want to break 350. We want to break 400. That's ultimately what's going to turn that bearish shorter-term trend into a bullish trend. Now, this is on the weekly. You can see all the levels of resistance and support that I have drawn. Would not surprise me at this point, given some of the volatility I'm still anticipating in the market, to see this thing double bottom at this point. We're sitting at 206. It wouldn't surprise me one bit to come right down to this 183 area. Now, again, double bottoms does not imply that the price matches dollar for dollar. It's a relative double bottom. This could double bottom. See how the bottom here in June of 22 was at 183? Okay, it was at 183. This thing could double bottom at 188. That's a double bottom. This thing could double bottom at 175, 173. It's still a double bottom, okay? If we look at some of the price indicators, yeah, they're very weak. Very, very weak. Very, very weak. So just with the rest of the market, and it's nothing different about Bitcoin, look at the price indicators on Bitcoin. Look at the MACD. Look how bearish the MACD is, right? We need it to turn around. Look at the RSI all the way down at 42. Look at the descending resistance on the RSI. Look at the stochastic RSI is dead at the moment. It's at 0. There's no momentum, right? We need momentum to pick back up. That's not a shocker. Now, for all of my faithful from the Caspa community, let's take a quick look at Caspa. Now, I just put a video out yesterday, and thank you for everyone new tuning in. I appreciate the thumbs up so more people can catch the live stream. So quick update on Caspa. Caspa is expressing a decent amount of strength here relative to Bitcoin the last I looked. So as you can see, Caspa, and this goes hand in hand with what I said in my video. One of the points in my recent Caspa video that was just released today is if Bitcoin gets the correction that I'm still anticipating, Caspa is expressing enough strength in the price that so long as we continue staying in this range, maybe we push a little higher. If we do get that 10, 20% move down in Bitcoin, even let's just say we're at this area, right? You can see from this relative range down, you can see a 20% move puts us slightly below my golden buy zone, right? And my theory is because of that Caspa BTC relativity chart that I've shared time and time again with you guys on the live stream, there is so much strength in that chart right now. I would say of all the projects in my portfolio off the top of my head, any altcoin in my portfolio, Caspa is demonstrating the strongest trend and most bullish chart of any project in my portfolio. That relativity chart is telling me that pound for pound, Caspa is not only matching Bitcoin, but it's outpacing it, such that when we do get that downside volatility that I'm anticipating, I don't think Caspa is going to correct much harder than Bitcoin. And you can kind of see that's what's going on right now. Look at this, dollar for dollar. We're at the percentage for percentage. We're at the same between Caspa and Bitcoin right now, okay? That's relatively going to stay the same in my opinion. And again, on the daily here, you can see we're right at this 50 simple moving average. You know, I brought up Caspa to my brother and told him to do his research. It was the most excited I've been about a project since the Hashgraph technology. I compared it to Bitcoin technology, but more superior. I just was really excited about it. I shared it with him. He's still not in it. He still has... I don't know how much research he's done, but I know he doesn't own any. And I think he's going to miss out. I think by the time he looks at buying it, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the price it is right now. So, unfortunately. Because for whatever reason, he doesn't want to use Uphold. What else? What other charts do you guys want me to take a look at? What else is on your mind? What is Digibytes having a harsh correction? Track is having a... You want to take a look at Track real quick with me? Take a look at Track USD. What other TA questions do you guys have? Are there any charts? Are there any charts that you would like me to take a look at? Oh yeah, I mean we're look at all these red areas of resistance. So this is on a weekly. Got nothing to say on the price indicators. We're sort of hanging out in no man's land right now on Track. Yeah, I mean, we're hanging out here at 20 cents. We lose that, we're going to go all the way down to this wick at 18.5 cents roughly. And it looks like there's some price confluence around. Yeah, 18-cent region would be next for me on deck. Could even wick as low as 16.5 cents. Those are the areas I'm looking at. Kim, great question. We have not looked at injective protocol in a long time. Let's take a look. Thank you for the question. Again, here's one that I put a video out on. Again, I'm going to share with you guys when I have some good calls, and I'm going to share with you guys when I majorly screw up and have some bad calls, okay? Injective is one of those ones I was like literally spot on with, except for how much further we went down. I thought we might go a little bit further down. But if you go back to my injective protocol video, I had said more than likely we topped out at 10 bucks. I said be patient. Never ever chase a trend, right? You had your opportunity to scale in at these lower valuations at 5 bucks. Look what's going on right now. There's nothing unhealthy about what's going on. It's just consolidation. We moved up from $1.26 to $10, guys. You can't expect that rate of increase to occur indefinitely in time. Things are going to pull back because they become overheated, okay? So right now, if we look at the 3-day, what we can see is, first off, we're below the 50 simple moving average. That's not good because now this 50 simple moving average is going to act as resistance. We can also see this yellow line here, this orange line, excuse me, is the 20 simple moving average. We're going to get that thing to cross below here. The way this chart is sort of setting up for me, and you can see the general downtrend. I mean, I think you can kind of see this in the chart. See the lower highs coming in. This looks like, to me, we want to come down here and we either want to make a triple bottom, okay, right around this 560 area, see how we've bounced it off a couple times. But if we come down and we're down here for too long, I think it's going to break. And I think you're actually going to get the opportunity to buy this thing between 5 and as low as maybe 430, maybe even towards the 200 simple moving average on the 3-day. You're actually going to get to this level that I spoke to. And I'd have to go back to the video to double check, but I'm pretty sure the big buy zone I was speaking to that would be awesome if you could reaccumulate would be right around this 430 area. This thing looks like it may want to continue to break down to here. Can we hold here? If we hang out at 560 too long, we're going to start breaking towards the 5 and 430 area, which is coincidentally right at this 200 simple moving average on the 3-day. Let's take a look at price indicators. I'm sure they're pretty, yeah. Nothing really to speak to there. I mean, we're just oversold. MACD needs to flatten out. Stochastic R size very low. So that's what I'm seeing right now. You can see the areas of major support I have there. Main takeaway here, Kim, would be that I want to see how 560 responds. Because again, we can triple bottom, although we've hit this many times. But keep in mind, the more times we keep hitting support, it actually weakens. You can come down 2 times. You can come down even 3 times. Once you start hitting an area of support more than 3 times, okay, which technically on this time frame, it would be on this time frame, we've hit it once, twice, 3, 4 times. We come down here and hit it for a 5th time. It's very weak at this point. I don't know that it's going to hold. So I think there is an increased probability you could get some nice volatility and some good opportunity to accumulate this thing between roughly, your $4 to $5 area. Okay, that's what I would look for. All right, some more questions coming in. Thank you. Gala Games. Have not looked at this one in a while. I know it's had a really hard correction. I know the narrative with the developers. But God, where are we at on this thing? Not good. We're all the way down at 1.4 cents. Now, the problem is, I'm always going to keep it 100% with you guys. Yeah, the problem is you're now in white space. The only thing you have are prices at the ICO down here. Let me just, and this is not FUD. This is just the realm of reality. Okay, I'm being honest and open with you guys. We broke this level at approximately 1.6 cents. Okay. As a result of breaking below 1.6 cents, this has to turn into resistance, okay? We are literally, when we look left, this doesn't count. we have no price confluence. So when we look left, what I'm saying is this, and we don't count this first candlestick at the ICO, this is white space. And so because that's white space and there's no price confluence, I can't tell you how low price will go. We could have bottomed. We already got our bottom, okay? We could go down another 50, 60, 70, 80%. That's not to scare you. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know where the low is because as a chartist, there's the basic thing you look for to draw areas of price confluence is you look left, right? Well, when there's nothing left, it's one of the great things about price discovery. We enter a blue sky breakout. Well, we don't know where we're going to go. We use fib extensions because there's no price confluence to the left. Same thing to the downside. There's no price confluence to the left. This thing could go very low, okay? And you have my major areas of support or resistance here, which were once support. I have them all drawn out. I don't need to speak to it. You can see them. We have a downward area of resistance we need to break above. This chart looks very weak to me right now, so we'll have to see what price can do. Do we even have a falling wedge of sorts? No, we don't. We might have a broadening wedge, which would actually be bullish. If we can get some sort of maybe a broadening wedge in here is a possibility. This would be bullish to get a break to the upside, but besides that, there's really not a whole lot that's going on that's bullish with this chart. This is on a weekly. Let me look at the price indicators. Yeah, I wish I could even tell you there's bullish divergence, but there isn't. 3-day time frame? No, man, this is... it's sort of like a sushi swap scenario for me. When I've charted sushi swap as an update, I'm like, man, it was one of my worst calls. And, of course, that was also at the time that we got that irregular correction, the expanded flat correction I've spoken to, so it kind of fits in there in that realm of just having a bad call. But you learn from it. But anyway, that chart, it's not a healthy chart. You might like the project, you might love the project, but not a healthy chart. This is not a good chart. So glad you asked the question. DJ Neutronic, I will take 2 more questions. Lunar and Tau. Fun fact, Lunar. That's how I pronounce that. Lunar. I had a girlfriend years ago. Can't believe I'm saying that it was years ago. How long that's been. And she had a cat. And we actually used to live together. And the cat's name was Luna. And I used to call her Lunar. I used to call her Captain Lunar. I always have nicknames for pets. Captain Lunar. Captain Lunar. Oh, I'll never forget that little cat. She was cute. She was a good cat. Do you guys come up with nicknames for your pets? I always come up with nicknames for my pets. So her name again was Luna. I called her Captain Lunar. I called her Lunar. I called her, what the hell else were her names? What was her name? What was the other one I used to call her? I had a couple other nicknames for her. See, me, when I label a pet, when I call a pet have a nickname for a pet, it is actually a term of endearment for me. It means I really like that pet. CoinX. Okay, so here is Captain Lunar, ticker symbol LUNR. People are leaving the live stream as I'm talking about nicknames for pets. I see that. Apparently, this is not a pet channel. First off, price indicators look like poop. Okay, not gonna beat around the bush, my friend. DJ Neutronic, I always appreciate your support, and I'm gonna keep things real with you. So right now we've double bottomed. Now I do want to point this out. Even though the price indicators look like poop, we have, at the moment, we have double bottom. DJ Neutronic with the super chat. Super. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Never requested, but always appreciated. Believe me. Very appreciated. Okay, so anyway, here is the area of support. This is around... This is around 5.2 cents, okay? 5.2 cents. So for the moment, even though we haven't touched 5.2 cents, what I'm trying to say is we're close enough, right? So at the moment, we've double bottomed. Now, this is a similar comment as I pointed out in Gala, right? We don't want to break 5.2 cents. Why do you think we don't want to break 5.2 cents? Because when we look left, again, to identify areas of price confluence, technical analysis isn't as complicated as you think. When you look left, what do we see? White space. So if you said, hey, CBG, I'm a little scared. What happens if it breaks 5.2 cents? I don't know, my friend. We could go 5% lower. We could go 50% lower. I really don't know because there's no price confluence. So you want to hold 5.2 cents. Now, the other thing I'm seeing here, which let me see if this could actually be bullish, maybe. Now, you see the downward resistance, right? I don't think it's going to pan out. I was going to say if there's a falling wedge. Well, there could be a falling wedge. At the moment, there's a potential. But I do want to highlight the word potential. Falling wedge. Okay, you can draw a falling wedge like that. It's wider up here. It's starting to get a little bit more narrow, so that is a possibility. I would keep that in mind. But I'm going to delete that for now. Let's talk about areas of resistance. In terms of areas of resistance, kind of like that, but it's not. That's a good area right there. Red is for resistance. Green is for support. This is at about 6.6 cents. Okay. Let's draw another area of resistance. I think this is like a no-brainer one, right? Oh, and you know what's funny about this area of resistance? Check this out, guys. Look where I just drew this. Not only is there price confluence at this level, why do you think it's a no-brainer that this is a level of resistance, right? It's important not that I just illustrate the chart for you, but again, on this channel, I want you to learn things. That's very important to me. Why do you think 9.9467 cents is interesting? Because 10 cents is an area of price, is an area of psychological resistance and support, right? 10 cents. So 10 cents is an area of resistance, and I'll illustrate just one more area for you, which is rather obvious. We wicked a little bit above it, but it looks like 12 cents. So what I would say to you, DJ Netronic, is let's not lose 5.2 cents. If we lose 5.2 cents, I can't tell you where price is going to go. I don't want to fearmonger. We could go 5% lower, 50% lower, like I said. But we need to start breaking the downward resistance. We have a potential falling wedge. Price indicators look like poop. And we have a major area of resistance at 6.6. You could draw some other sub areas in here, but then there's a major area between 10 and 12. Like between 6.6 and 10, you know, you could draw another area in here, maybe around like, 8.2, 9.2, but really there's a huge gap between 6.6 and 10. So once we break 6.6 with conviction, there's at least a possibility we could make a hard run towards something close to 10. That's what I would say. I'm using my liquidity mining rewards to buy Lunar. Right now, Lunar Crush still requires you to hold 2,000 Lunar for pro membership. Interesting. I've never looked into it before. I love learning about new things in general. It's just sometimes, believe me, I always appreciate when you guys share things with me. Some of it is contingent upon how much it piques my interest, and some of it is contingent about how much time I just have in a day. But always throw ideas my way, because sometimes some of the coolest things that I've learned, some of the most interesting things that I've learned, some of the things that have rewarded me that I've learned has come from my audience. So share things with me like that. So I appreciate you sharing. I'll try to look into it at some point. I'm not really super familiar. And thank you for the super chat. I have fish and I don't name them. Okay. Tao. Greg, excuse me. Black oil. Did you ask about Tau recently? Because I feel like we charted this one out like super recent. Maybe someone else posing as black oil came on to the live stream and we charted out Tau. I don't really know, but looky, looky, looky. Oh, man, we just keep going lower here, right? Just with the rest of the market. A couple things that I want to point out to you. First off, I definitely see a potential falling wedge, similar to my last comment. Thank you for the question, Black Oil, by the way. Again, doesn't need to pan out. You can kind of see we had the same thing here. All depends how you draw it. You can draw it a couple different ways. As long as your lines don't go through candle bodies. If you're by the way, if you're following technical analysts, they would draw something like this. Seriously, look at this line, this purple line. If you're following any technical analyst that would draw a falling wedge like this with the purple line, please, please immediately unfollow them. They have no idea what they're talking about. You can't draw a line through candle bodies. You can do it through the wicks. So I can draw it like this. I could draw it like that. I could draw it like that. I mean, you could draw it a couple different ways. But it looks like we could have another falling wedge in play here. Just to make you aware, I'm going to take this off. Now, one of the things I want to take a step back and recognize within this chart, that as much as we've come down lower than the last time I guess we had charted this, the one thing that is good to see in the chart, okay, what do you think I'm about to say? Any guesses? Well, since we were in this downtrend, what have we done? Let's not lose perspective. We have a low here, we have a higher low, and we have a higher low. So we still have the higher lows coming in, and we still have the higher highs. Let's not lose that perspective, right? So just to ground our view on the chart, you need to recognize that within the chart, right? Now, we do have this area of downward resistance that we obviously need to break above. All of the prior areas of price confluence, Greg, I have listed here. You can kind of round off to the nearest dollar or 50 cents, to make it easy on you. Now, where else do I see price confluence now that we've fallen even further? Clearly, that's like perfect almost. There's an area right there around 46.64. There's another area. Draw it up to that wick there. Actually, I don't want to draw it to that wick. Honestly, I'd rather draw it like right there because of the confluence over here. There's another area at 43.25 we haven't touched. And then, by the way, for everyone new tuning in, just wanted to quick mention to hit the thumbs up. And also, just appreciate everyone new tuning in. I kind of looking at the calendar, it just hit me. I've been doing this live stream for about 5.5 months. And even though there aren't a ton of viewers that tune in live, believe it or not, even when I have 16 to 20 people tuning in, it's like 4 to 5 times the amount of viewers I had when I started. So I do I do appreciate everyone taking the time to stop in, really. Yeah, so these are your major areas of other support. Anywhere else, I would go as low as here. So, Greg, I just, if we start losing this area here at 46.55, I have a couple areas here at 43.25 and 40.01. Really what I wouldn't like to see, it's not the end of the world, Greg. It's not the end of the world. But you see this higher low right here at, let's draw it out for you. I'm going to distinguish it with a purple line, okay? This Purple Rain, I'm not a Prince fan, but I don't know why that song came to my head. 41.30. $41.30 was this higher low, right? We had a low here, and then this higher low, which is $41.30. I really don't want to take out that $41.30, right? So I'd like to stay above there. If we take it out, it's not the end of the world. But obviously, worst case scenario, I don't want to take out the lows at $29.90. That's what I would say on this chart. I hope you found that helpful, Greg. Let's see what else we got here. Ah, you're doing some IT work, my friend. Very, very nice. So you work in a nerdy occupation, much like myself, right? So I think you know I'm an actuary, right? So I have interacted with IT people routinely throughout my career. So very, very nice. You appreciate the fact that you can, more than likely, you work remote as well, right? I appreciate that. I love having a home office. Can you please take a look into PLI in the future? I'm into Casper, XDC, and Ply. Thank you. Thank you, DJ, for the positive comments. I appreciate that. Oh, I missed Florian. I missed your comments there. Glad that I managed to join. My brother told me about you. He is very selective, so that means that your bro, not your brother. Your bro told me about he's very selective, so that means that you are really good. Why? Thank you, kind sir. I am humbled by the positivity being expressed here. All right, too much positivity. People are giving me too many compliments. Cannot take the compliments. Too many compliments. Yes, I am an actuary, and actually I will take the title Math Genius, because to get through those exams is brutal. I didn't know. I figured you guys knew I was an actuary. If you go to my Twitter here, it does give you my profile. I'm an extremely avid crypto investor, logical TA aimed to help others. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a credentialed actuary. I'm an FSA, and I'm a passionate weightlifter. And then I have my YouTube channel. I'm surprised you didn't know that. All right, so I was going to cut off the live stream at this point, but I have a new viewer in who has asked a question, Florian, and I want to live up to the expectations that your bro set. So Ply, I have not looked at Ply yet, so this will be something new we can look at together. It looks like there's a decent amount of price history here. Let me see if a weekly, yeah, let's just kind of zoom out and look at the weekly. Price indicators, you can see that we had a large run in price, right? That resulted in this MACD shooting up in value. Our RSI shot up in value all the way to, typically Ply, something to keep in mind, typically when the RSI goes over 70, that's your caution flag. That's when, it's not to say that when the RSI on a time frame, in this case the weekly, it's not to say immediately you're going to get a retrace, okay, and a correction. We could go up to 80 or 90, but it's a caution flag. Yes, we could go higher, but probably if you're looking to trade it, probably a logical place to begin to take some profits, okay? Because we can't pick perfect tops or bottoms, but we can use these indicators and price data to help lend credence to a notion of whether it's good to be buying or selling. Stochastic RSI is coming down, but it looks like it wants to flatten out and maybe curl back up depending on price action. So let's take a look at, first off, areas of support here. Now, I don't want to go below here. And why don't I want to go below here at 1.5 cents? Because if we look left, which we're not going to, there's no price data. So if we go below 1.5 cents, similar to a couple other charts, I can't tell you where price is going to go. No one can, because there's no price data. There isn't a single person who could tell you where it's going to go. This is definitely an area right here, this region. Another thing, Florian, to keep in mind, when I give price areas, especially with volatile assets like crypto, they're extremely volatile. Please keep in mind, in this case, I'm using nice round figures, 4.4 cents. There's really a region, okay? It's not an exact dollar level, okay? 4.4 cents, 4.3, 4.35, 4.37, 4.22. There's a region all in here, okay? But 4.22 is too low, but you get the point. There's a nice region right around 4.4 cents. We don't get too cute on this channel. Another area that I'm looking at, which it looks like it's right at right now, just about. I kind of want to get that area right there. It looks like it's at about 5.1. We'll just say 5.2, right? Trying to keep things stupid simple. 5.2 cents, which it's starting to dip below, right? Now, this candlestick hasn't printed. This is the weekly, so I'm going to keep it as support until this candlestick prints. Until proven otherwise, it is an area of support because this candlestick closed above it. Those are some major areas of support, although I could do better for you. I could actually point out another area here. One more area that I'll target. I like that area right there at 3.3. I'm actually going to keep that at 7. 3.37 cents, okay? So this is your major zone, all right? I really don't want to dip much below 3.37. If we lose 3.37 cents, I think there is an increased risk that we could go as low as an area between 2 cents and 1.5. I like the bodies right there at 2 cents. So don't lose that 3.37 because, again, if you lose this region at 3, all this region in here, but at the lowest point, if you lose that 3.37, in my opinion, based on price confluence, you're significantly increasing the probability you'll dip as low as between 2 to 1.5, okay? So let's hold that area. Whoops, shit, lost that. This is at 2 cents, okay? What about resistance? Well, first off, we have this sharp descending resistance, right? So we're going to have to break out from that. Keep that in there. But other areas of red resistance that we're going to encounter, and I'll sort of tell you what I would like to see in the chart realistically. We have an area at 6.5. Okay, I'm starting to lose my voice here. Too much talking today. Too much talking at work and too much talking at on the old YouTube channel. The old YouTube channel. Again, I don't want to get too cute with these prices. This is 9 cents. It's not 8. It's not 8.984. It's freaking 9 cents, guys. You can see an area there. You can see an area, you know. Oh, that's perfect. And again, there's a region, just to illustrate it, there's really a region there, okay? So we're really going to be facing heavy resistance, okay, up towards 6.5, 9 cents, and then this 13 to like, I'll call it 15, although it's like 14.6, it looks like. I'll call it like 13 to 15 cents. So you're going to have resistance all the way coming up here. We're also going to have this descending resistance. Now, what do I think realistically how this chart would play out and how I'd like it to play out? You could get something like this. You know, we come all the way down to this area. We bounce up. Then the question is whether this bounce is another dead cat bounce. We kind of roll over. Maybe we kind of wick into this area. We actually don't touch this region. We get close to it. And then we continue our uptrend. Don't pay attention to the time frame. But general idea is at some point, right, basically what I'm trying to say is if this chart turns bullish, we had a huge rise in price, right? So when you get that huge rise in price, it's very common to see a sharp decline. When you see a sharp decline, it's often preceded by a sharp bounce. That generally will roll over. We'll get the lower high. And then the question is, where do we stop? Can we form a high here, a higher low here, or will we come all the way down here before we then continue moving up? So that's what I would be watching for. Hope that was helpful. Dragons, what's your opinion on all the ISO complaint coins once they are used for the new monetary system as far as price? I really don't have an opinion. Let me think about this question. What is your opinion on all the ISO compliant coins once they're used for the new? Okay, I read that too fast. So I am familiar with the ISO compliant coins. And I think if you're investing, here's what I would say to that. If part of your approach is investing based on not just the technicals and the fundamentals, which I hope it is, because that's how I base my investment approach, It's a mixture of how strong the fundamental narrative is and how strong the chart is. Okay. So if you believe that to be a strong narrative, then I think it would be smart to have at least one ISO compliant coin in your portfolio. But as far as speculation on how they'll be used in the new monetary system, nobody knows that. Keep in mind there's a lot of hype out there. There's no switches that are going to get flipped. Coins aren't going to shoot up 5,000% in value because if a coin is... I think you know which coin I'm talking about. No coin is going to rise 5,000% from somebody flicking a switch. At the end of the day, here is what I would say, and then we're going to close things out, okay? You say the same thing every time I ask. It was me, the one with me. Nice, Greg. Black oil. You're welcome, Florian. Here's what I would say. Your fundamental basis for investing in something should give you confidence regarding the long-term trajectory of that chart, project, and appreciation in price, no matter the volatility between here and there. But do not think for 1 second, and if you think this, you've been watching way too many hype videos. Don't think for 1 second there's any narrative out there that will result in your coin immediately flipping and doing a 10,000x overnight. It's not going to happen. We have to operate within the realm of reality, right? Moon Boys are killing XRP. Watch that video. I think it would behoove you to watch that. Check it out, Dragons. Check it out. I've seen you in the live stream before. I appreciate you showing up. Steady! Haven't seen you in a long time, my friend. You got here right at the end. Nitesh, you'll have to come back tomorrow. I appreciate the question. We've been going for over an hour on the live stream, so I need to eat. So everybody have a good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care, everybody.